Super Bowl 2025 edition. And before we get started, Sid, you had some questions about my brand deal here. This is, I think, the first time you've been on since, I've been officially sponsored by Electrolyte.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. The crazy amount of people who contact me about this podcast, YouTube video, how viral we have gone. We need a sponsor, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we needed to get a deal. Shout out Mike Gilhooly for the sponsorship.
Yeah.
And I'm getting paid in Electrolyte. And I know you just had a little trip. You said you were a little rough around the edges. That's going to clear you right up.
I'm going to bring the fruit punch with me right now.
Yeah. That'll clear you right up. And then the other thing I would say is you sent me a couple videos of your son Cooper catching passes. I've seen him live shooting across the pool.
Yep.
I could broker an NIL deal apparently. So if you're ready to have Cooper sign with me, maybe I could make some stuff happen for him.
I mean, a little early at 7, but I think maybe next year we'll see how it goes.
Right on. All right, let's get into, before we hit the Super Bowl, the NBA trade deadline, we have to talk about it because it's crazy.
I mean, it's been, like we talked about right before we got on camera here, maybe the craziest trade deadline of all time. All right. Let's start with Luka to the Lakers for AD. Did you see that coming? I sure didn't.
Luka's too fat, dude. That's what they said.
Maybe some electrolyte, man.
They basically just said, Luka, you're fat. You're out of here.
Man, that's tough.
I've never seen a 25-year-old superstar getting dealt is crazy. And they basically threw him under the bus in the process. I've never seen anything like it.
I think he's got a big revenge factor coming. I think that Luka is this may be his ticket to getting back in shape. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. Maybe, a top 20 potentially of all time type of guy. So
he's top 3 right now. And did you see the Mark Cuban clips that were coming out?
I haven't seen those. Tell me what's going on.
Mark Cuban said that he would divorce his wife before Luka Doncic would not play for the Mavericks.
That'd be expensive.
He's not the owner, or not the majority owner anymore.
Yep.
So this was not his move. But man, this is a big deal. All right, closer to home. De'Aaron Fox, face of the franchise. He came out. He's got LeBron's agency representing him.
Rich Paul, yep.
He said, all right, I'm not going to sign with Zach. Zach said, all right, I guess we got to move on. What do you think about Zach LaVine?
Well, I mean,
coming to Sacktown?
I just don't think he's going to move the needle. I think this is a typical Sacramento Kings move where you kind of maybe get a little worse here. I think that you are now going to, probably be in the middle of the pack, right? Type of deal. I mean, getting Valanciunas, another trade that they made, may help a little bit, but I just don't think it's something that moves the needle or makes them any better.
Yeah, I mean, I think their hand was forced. They had to do something. I wish maybe they pushed for a little bit of some younger players, more of a long-term play. But I agree, the West is stacked. I do like Zach LaVine. I don't know how the fit is with the rest of this team. It's going to be tough.
It's a little depressing.
It's going to be tough. You're never going to get equivalent value when you trade your best player. But
well, I mean, if you look at it, so this will kind of, put us into another category here, or we'll kind of segue into, would you have rather got Jimmy Butler or will you rather got Zach LaVine in this deal?
I would rather get LaVine. To be honest, I don't get the Jimmy Butler to the Warriors and then signs for 2 years, $120 million.
Man, I would have taken just a little bit of that. Talk about an agency deal. Yeah, I mean,
his agent needs a raise.
I mean, I think the Warriors are on a timeline here, right? It's like, listen, we're going to give Steph 2 years. We're going to give him Jimmy Butler. Talks are coming out that Durant just didn't want to come back. So you got Jimmy Butler. I mean, does it make them better? Probably.
You know what I don't like the most, though, too, is that he literally threw a tantrum.
Yeah.
Sat out and then got what he wanted in the end. I don't know. I just feel like he's 35 years old. Game's declining.
Sure.
To get paid like that. I don't know about his fit with Steph and Draymond.
We're gonna see. I mean, it's
West is tough.
I don't think the Warriors were going anywhere as it was. Right, we're gonna be a middle of the pack team. So it's either you try to make this big splash or you go young again. I mean, the big thing that I don't like about the deal is we got Kuminga coming up in the offseason, and I want to see him sign. And now it's going to be really tough to keep him. So, listen, I still think with both these teams, you being a Kings fan, me being a Warriors fan, I think it just really just kind of keeps us in the middle of the pack. And OKC is still going to be really tough.
I agree. Maybe this was just the NBA trying to steal as much spotlight as possible on Super Bowl week. Because what do we say? The NFL is king.
And before we start on the Super Bowl, let's kind of retract to our Super Bowl picks.
You mean the playoff picks?
Playoff picks. Well, I mean, to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people like my Philadelphia pick, but what happened? Philadelphia's in the Super Bowl. I was real close to picking them picking the championship game first at the Super Bowl because Kansas City did beat Buffalo. But,
this is the matchup that no one wanted.
100%.
Kansas City and Philadelphia.
I might be golfing during this time. I don't know. We'll see.
I sent you the link earlier. Ticket prices are plummeting.
Yeah.
Because it's the matchup no one wanted to see. Or as our boy, ticket expert Raj once said,
friend of the show,
it's a false market.
It is a false market.
It's a false market. So ticket prices are dropping. Interest is cooled. I'm still going to watch it because guess what? NFL's king. Yeah. So, I mean, what are you thinking on the game? What's your take?
Well, listen, I hate to say this, but I think the Chiefs are going to win. They always win. I think they're probably, the better team here. And I hate to say it, but they're probably going to be, pouring the Gatorade at the end, which gets us into some prop bets.
What color?
Okay, I got. I'm going to start with my first prop bet.
All right.
Okay, purple Gatorade plus 300. Okay, I don't like it. I think it's gonna be red.
I go in yellow.
Okay,
I'm going yellow. That's
right.
Lemon lime. I'm a lemon lime Gatorade guy.
Yeah.
So I'm big on the yellow at plus 350.
Okay.
I like that to hit. The game itself, right? And first of all, before we get too deep, I want to say this. If you have a gambling problem, there's probably numbers to call. And we want you to save your money for a down payment on a house.
100%,
okay?
yes.
That's what we want you to do with your money. But if you want to have some fun and watch the game, here are a few things that we'll be paying attention to in the game. The game itself, I mean, again, the line's been moving, but right now it still looks like KC minus 1.5.
Yeah. I
agree with you. I feel like in the end, a close game, it's always going to be KC. Patrick Mahomes is 17-3 in a postseason in his life. He lost his first year
to Brady, right?
To Brady in New England.
Yep.
Lost to Brady in the Super Bowl against the Bucs, and he lost to Joe Burrow one time.
Pretty good.
Outside of that, dude wins
every
playoff game. So you got that. You got the over-under. And is 48.5.
Okay.
Went to 49, came back down. So right now, 54% of the money is bet on KC, and 68% of the money is on the over.
The over.
People like high scoring. They want to root for action. So
my opinion on this, I would be on the under on this. Okay. I think KC's defense is very underrated. I think that's why they're winning a lot of these games. Listen, Mahomes, Kansas City, they can win either way, but I think they're going to try to control the possessions. I think they're going to play strong defense. They're going to be throwing these crazy blitz packages at Jalen Hurts, which leads me to my next prop here. Okay, 200.5 passing yards for Jalen Hurts. If you want to take all your money and put it on the under, this is my lock of the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, under 205 passing yards.
What do you like? So when I first saw this line, I thought it was crazy. Saquon's over/under on rushing yards is 112.5.
I think
a lot.
I think that the books have been getting burned by Saquon. He's been really playing well. I've got a prop for him. You want me to tell you one?
Hit it.
Okay. Saquon Barkley to score 1 receiving touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown plus 1,000. Okay. Now I'm not talking a big amount of money here. Maybe, $5, $10, right? To win 1,000.
All right.
I mean, if Philadelphia's going to win, that's probably going to hit.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, I love these.
Over under how many times she's going to be seen? 6.5.
Tom Brady cutting the Taylor Swift for the from the Fox booth is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be over.
It's going over.
That could
going
be like
over.
20.
And you got Proposal. Yes is plus 800.
Wasn't this on the docket
this was last year?
So there could be.
You can go Proposal this year. It's plus 800. Let me go deep on one.
Okay.
All right. This is deep, though. Quarterback over under rushing totals in the fourth quarter.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Patrick Mahomes is 4.5.
Okay.
Rushing yards in the fourth quarter. I like that going over.
Sure.
I like Jalen Hurts rushing total in the fourth quarter going over 6.5. Both of these guys, games tight,
one
scramble plays.
Yeah.
Like that's going over. Here's where that gets catchy or where this could get you in trouble is kneel downs at the end. Could be negative yards. So watch for that. But I still like both of those. I feel like it will be a tight game. And there'll be some scramble plays.
You know what that I've heard? Some people, if you do like the rushing yards, look at rushing attempts. Because I didn't know this until I was listening to a podcast. A kneel down is considered a rushing attempt, right? So maybe if
Philadelphia led the league in rushing attempts this year.
Yeah.
It's a run-heavy team. So anyways, we'll be watching the game.
Yeah, I might be golfing.
I'm locked in. I'm a big snack guy. What's your Super Bowl go-to snacks?
The key to Super Bowl is the dips.
Yes.
Jalapeno,
love the dip.
Cheddar, something like that with jalapeno, a little heated up. You can do crackers, you can do chips in it. Key to success on Super Bowl day.
Yeah, I'm a 7-layer. You know, my wife makes classic 7-layer.
Shout out to Nancy, one of the best cooks I know.
Requested, from people far and wide. I gotta have some shrimp cocktail in there. Keeps it, get that lean protein.
Yeah.
Chicken wings, go to. You get assortment of dips.
Like all those.
So yeah, I'll be locked into the snacks. I'll be locked into the commercials. I'll be locked into the game. Whoever you're rooting for, safe, productive Super Bowl. We'll see you on the other side.
Thanks to our sponsor.